The New York Rangers lose 3-2 to the San Jose Sharks in overtime in David Quinn's return to Madison Square Garden. And boy, what an ugly, ugly loss for the Rangers. They didn't deserve to get a point, quite frankly. Lucky to get a point. This was the Sharks' first win of the season. Ironically enough, David Quinn's first win as a Ranger head coach was a 3-2 overtime win home against the Sharks, MSG. And his first win as Sharks coach is a 3-2 overtime win at MSG as well. So weird how that works. The chances of that are highly unlikely, but that's what happens. And what's even more unlikely is, when you think about David Quinn as head coach of the Rangers, third period breakdowns and just poor play late, led to his demise in some ways. Certainly thinking back recently, I guess, to the 2021 shortened season. And wow, the Sharks outplayed the Rangers to a level that is just not. It's just not right. And the Rangers were last year, all year long, were a very good third period team. You could count on that. They had some bad first periods, some bad second periods. Third period, they're really good. And tonight, third period and overtime, just absolutely nothing at all. And so that was kind of my fear. And I feel like against the Ducks, they just kind of out-talented them. And that's the key thing. The power play tonight had tons of chances in the first and got nothing. And, eventually they lose the game. They do get a point. But, I just feel as if I'm concerned about the Rangers now that they are a team that is seen as, a contender. Will that battle level be there like it was last year? That was a team that was determined to prove themselves. And they should still feel that way. They definitely should. My concern now is, Gallant has to get them straight and get them right because, I haven't seen the best habits. And then that's what leads to this. It really hadn't necessarily costed them yet, but here it did. And it could have been worse. They're lucky they got a point. And you shouldn't be saying that home against the Sharks, lucky to get a point. You say things like that where, you're on the road against Colorado. Well, got outplayed, lucky to get a point. You should be beating the Sharks easily. This is one of the worst teams in the league. I'm sorry. And it was bad. Apparently David Quinn was booed. Why exactly? Look, was I a big David Quinn fan? No, but he did not deserve to be booed. And that's insane. I heard that. I didn't act not audibly. I guess, the fact that it was tweeted out, clearly it was substantial. So, yeah, don't quite understand that one. And as soon as I heard that, I'm thinking, we might very well lose this game. Look, the Sharks wanted to win for their head coach as well. And they came out in the third period and absolutely dominated. They outshot the Rangers 16-2 after they had been outshot 21-9 through the first two periods. The Rangers played a pretty good first two periods. 21-9 is a bit misleading, but the Rangers were playing pretty well, in the first two. In the third period and overtime, wow, just awful. Really, really bad. One thing that I want to mention, which I considered making an episode about it, but ultimately decided not to. Dryden Hunt was claimed off waivers by the Colorado Avalanche. So Hunt, who we kind of knew there was a chance that maybe he would be subject to waivers as, the Rangers have a cap crunch. That's what it is. It's not really, it's having 14 forwards in the roster, certainly with, some injuries going on here. I guess right now they're basically fully healthy. It seems as if Vitaly Kravtsov was kind of a healthy scratch. Would expect to see him in the lineup next game at this point. But, Hunt, because the Rangers are so tied up against the cap, they traded, they put him on waivers, and he was claimed. He almost made it through, which is interesting, because the way it works is it goes from worst record to best record. So, he almost did make it through waivers, in which case the Rangers would have sent him down. I think they were hoping for that, but Colorado claims Hunt. And when a team like Colorado does that, they kind of know what they're doing. So, Dryden Hunt, it's too bad. I think that could have been depth that could have been useful. And so now he's a Colorado Avalanche. I wish him well. Wasn't here for long. He did, he actually scored a goal this year, a pretty big goal at that against Winnipeg early in the season, but not terribly shocked that he got claimed. But like I said, it took him a while. So Hunt, who was pretty much a mainstay when you think about last year, in the regular season. He played basically close to 80 games in the season, and then was a healthy scratch for most of the postseason until, I think he might have played a game or two against Pittsburgh, but then, of course, famously, Gallant scratched Kako in Game 6 against the Lightning, and Hunt came into the lineup. We know how that went down. So, in some ways, Jimmy Vesey kind of took Hunt's spot, which that could be debated as to whether that's the right or wrong move. But again, wanted to touch on that Dryden Hunt is now a member of Colorado. Wish him well. And we move forward. So as far as this game was concerned, really, the power play, which has been so lethal and so good, really had a lot of good chances. But James Reimer really shut the Rangers down specifically. And the Sharks do have a good penalty kill. Give them credit there. They're not a great team, but their penalty kill, I don't think they've allowed a power play goal all season. So it's not like it was just a this game thing, but the Rangers had chance after chance. Luke Cunnin at 59 seconds takes an interference penalty. Then at 2:48, Matt Benning delay a game. So you actually have a short 5-on-3. Nothing comes of it. Then Sammy Blais takes a tripping penalty at 5:28. Blais, since he's been in there, he's been okay. I kind of feel like he might be better suited for the fourth line. If you could make that work somehow, you really can't with what you have. But Blais on the fourth line could make that line a lot better. On the third line, it's okay. And, I kind of feel bad for Hedl. I wish that he was more consistently playing with better players. I mean, Blais, in some ways, is better than Goodrow, I guess, from just a speed offensive standpoint, but not by that much. So Blais takes the penalty, but the Rangers, the Rangers do not kill it off. The Rangers give up a power play goal, so the special teams fails them pretty early. It's a power play goal by Logan Couture, who scores his second goal of the season from Cunnin and Carlson. Rangers were a bit out of position there up top. I think Kreider was a bit out of position, and eventually Couture scores from close in, makes it 1-0. Then Shimmick takes a tripping penalty on Lafreniere. No goal for the Rangers, nothing going on there. Trouba slashing Meyer. Rangers hold tight on that penalty kill. Then Cunnin slashes Hedl at the end of the first. Rangers don't score on that power play either. So a lot of missed opportunities, and the power play kind of looked worse and worse as things went on, because really they were just kind of unlucky at first. The process was there. They were, puck possession was good, but they just couldn't score. But the Rangers do score early in the second, and it's Philip Hedl. I thought Philip Hedl, on a night where the Rangers scored, he was one of the best Ranger players. Hedl scores his second of the season from Kreider at 150. So good job by Phil, using his speed, scoring a goal. I want Hedl, maybe you put that kid line back. It kind of puts, the problem is there's just too much crap outside of it that you're trying to spread the wealth. I don't even know if I would describe it that way, actually. But look, the kid line works, and I wouldn't mind going back to that. Insert Kravtsov, maybe try him again with Panarin and Trocheck. I'm kind of all right with that. And then as far as Zibanejad and Kreider, maybe give Blais a shot. Maybe go back to the lines that that we saw originally when the preseason began. We'll see, though. So the Rangers tied up at 1. And then they score again at 9:05. Artemi Panarin, who has really been on a tear statistically to start the season, scores his third goal of the year on a nice pass by Adam Fox. And Vincent Trocheck gets the other assist. The Rangers take a 2-1 lead. But then the Sharks tie it up. And it was the fourth line that was on of Vesey, Carpenter, and Reeves with a little bit of with a part of the third pair. It was Schneider and Fox, I believe, that were on for that goal. Adam Fox had a rough night. I mean, he had that nice assist on the Panarin goal, but Fox in overtime struggled. I thought Adam Fox was really not good, even though he was technically +1. And I guess in part because he came off the ice in overtime. He was not on for that goal against, but Fox was kind of the reason why they scored in some ways. I thought Fox was bad. And to combine the fourth line with the third pair, Gallant loves to do that. I just don't quite understand that. It really puts them at a disadvantage majorly. And that fourth line, that Ranger fourth line, it's not good. It's not good, folks. Vesey with Carpenter and Reeves, that's not, that's got to be one of the worst fourth lines in the league, really. I mean, yeah, that's just not going to get it done. And they score. Shimmick from Nieto and Lindblom. Not a great goal by Shesterkin, I felt. Igor has not been great this year, but he was really good in the third period and was the reason this game went to overtime. So as much as Igor hasn't been like Vezina level, like I've said, like he's been a little shaky to start the year, in my opinion. Third period, he was tremendous. Really held the range. It reminded me of last year where he was standing on his head to kind of just get the Rangers to just drag him to overtime, which he did, luckily. The Rangers had a short power play chance as Hedel was high stick by Cunningham, and then 17 seconds later, Panarin trips Sturm. And so it ends right there. So a lot of 4-on-4 play. And so now we go to overtime. And the Rangers, puck possession's key. Adam Fox loses the puck for no reason, which leads to a Shesterkin stoppage, and the Rangers never gain that control again. They take Fox off the ice. Trouba replaces him for the next shift. And just awful. Erik Karlsson scores game-winning overtime goal, a second of the year, scored by assisted by Meyer and Hertl. And the Sharks win 3-2, and David Quinn is victorious. It took him 6 games, but he finally gets his first win as a Shark. That's a really bad job of the Rangers. I'm curious to see how they respond. Last year, the response was always there. They have a couple days to sit on this. They'll be home against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who, now they have Johnny Gaudreau. Columbus is off to a 2-3 start, but this will not be, whereas Columbus, and look, the Columbus gave the Rangers some problems last year. Certainly in Columbus, one game specifically where the Rangers gave up a lot of goals. Rangers did play well home against Columbus in the one game they had last year. Anyway, though, Columbus plays the night before against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So the Rangers are definitely at an advantage, and they got to get this. I'm interested to see how they respond. I mean, Gallant was not happy, deservedly so. Let's see, because the response level has to be there after this disappointing showing. Again, Rangers lose 3-2 in overtime to the San Jose Sharks. David Quinn, ironically, gets his first win as a Shark against the New York Rangers.